That's tangled.
Good enough!
Hello, my beautiful little Wat babies. It's been a minute. I've neglected you. Daddy Daniel's been out of town, getting some cigarettes. But I'm back! I'm gonna raise you right. And today, I'm so sorry about everything about that intro, but we're pushing through. Today, we're gonna go through every single WoTonPrime drop and give you my full, detailed, nuanced thoughts. Why am I doing this now? Because we just got the biggest drop of all. Moraine! We got our first look at the Aes Sedai we all simp over. No, just me. I don't care. I'm gonna simp! So if you haven't seen already, here's the clip of Moraine being all Moraine-y.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
There's immediate takeaways here. One, Moraine's face. That's the face of Moraine. We already knew it was Rosamund Pike, but now we have the dark hair, which puts some people at ease who are like afraid Moraine wouldn't have dark hair. No forehead pendant. Why doesn't Moraine have her forehead pendant? Theories running wild. Here's mine. So, okay, first of all, her eyebrows look great. I don't know why that's standing out to me. Great eyebrows. Anyway, my theory is that this is taking place during winter night. We see a bunch of lights in the background. I think that matches the concept art we had for Emins Field in that. So what we're seeing her is running out and being like, oh, Trollocs attack! And fighting them. And she's embracing the source. We have that confirmed from Rosamund Pike's own caption. My theory is maybe she took the little forehead pendant off her little forehead, put it down, and she was getting ready for bed, and then a bunch of Trollocs started attacking, and she was like, oh, Mama Moraine gonna go hit some people. And that's what we're seeing. The earrings are still in, maybe she's in the middle of getting ready for bed, I don't know. Her hair looks traveled, so I think this equals showing up to Emins Field. I'm reading a lot into this, but I also theorize this audio is disconnected from the actual scene because it doesn't make sense lining up what we're seeing. You don't underestimate the women of this tower. One, true queen. Don't underestimate the women of the White Tower. But also, we had it confirmed from Rafe Judkins that she actually literally recorded this line separately, and so this is like a whole other thing going on. Maybe it's her like arguing with someone. I think probably, my theory is that's White Cloaks. My theory is this is Moraine having an issue with White Cloaks. That's my theory. Moving on, next thing. Generally though, I'm happy with this. I like the look from Moraine. It looks good to me. Happy Daniel. Moraine looked good. But before that one, we had another drop with a little special dagger. Okay, we're getting into like real spoilers here for Wheel of Time. So you haven't read the first book at least. You might want to dip on out.
Alright, let's make a deal.
So this one has some spooky music. I don't think it's show music. We also get a little cut of a spooky hallway kind of VFX looking thing. So all right, nice, Shadar Logoth. We establish what this is. You get the little whispers that are like, and to me that's just, that's Shadar Logoth. And then cut to Ruby Dagger. And Matt saying, all right, let's make a deal. And to me, it sounds very much so like he has a UK accent. Cool, I'm a fan of that. I don't want people sounding like they're from America. I don't think the American accent fits very well for the Wheel of Time. That's just my opinion. Although it will have a myriad range of accents, I'm sure. Does this mean because Moraine sounded American to me and Matt sounds UK, we're gonna have Andor people sounding UK and Karianan sounding American? I don't know. But with this ruby hilted dagger, we all know what's gonna happen. Matt's gonna go, look, I got a knife! No! And then that's gonna be a problem for all involved. I like the general design of the dagger. It's like, gaudy and kind of looking like a little bit extra, but that's appropriate for what this dagger is. And Matt's hands, I know this is gonna be like, I'm such a nerd. Matt's hands look like what I expected Matt's hands to look like. A village kid wrapped up, looking a little scruffy. I like it. Well done. I also want to point out this dagger kind of looks fang-like to me, and I think that's a really good design choice, having the aesthetics of it being like a fang. Fits what the dagger is. Okay, all right, okay. The drop before this, though, is kind of interesting because we had a lot of concept art. This goes over some shots in like a quarry. We have them riding some horses. We have Emins Field, it looks like, and Winter Night. I keep bouncing back and forth between winter and Winter's Night. It's Winter Night. We also get a little bit of a caravan, and we have Shadar Logoth once again, and Rafe Judkins talking about how happy he is to bring this world to life. I don't have a whole lot to say here because I'm pretty sure we've all seen this concept art. It's concept art, so we don't know how reflective it's going to be in the final product. Hopefully good amount, because it's some decent concept art. And I like how excited Rafe seems. I don't have much more to add though, sorry. Love you though. My favorite of the concept arts though, it's gonna be Shadar Logoth. It's so spoopy and I'm so excited to see those horrific moments brought to the screen. I've always said some of my favorite elements of the Wheel of Time are the horror moments and the like elements that exist in the story, so Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then we have easily the most controversial drop yet WoTonPrime has made, and that's going to be Tom's guitar. A lot of people are going, hey, why doesn't Tom have a harp? Because in the books, Tom Maryland plays a harp, but it seems for the show they've changed it to a guitar. The justification we've seen is a harp looks kind of silly on screen, and the guitar's just gonna look better. And I generally agree with the consensus of like, I'm not an instrument snob, I don't care that much. I like Tom as a character, not as much as I used to, but I still like him as a character. And the guitar seems like a Tom guitar. I'm much more care about the patchwork cloak. Is that fair to say? I'm much more passionate about getting the patchwork cloak right. We also had a little bit of dialogue from a script that said, she nods her head to Tom Maryland, who's finishing a beer as he heads back to the stage carrying his guitar. Tom is wearing a patchwork of color on the inside of his cloak, identifying him as a gleeman. So on the inside of his cloak, that's something where I'm like, all right, you gotta pull it off well, but I'm down if it's done well. Like, I'm a little more hesitant here because I want the patchwork to be on the complete outside, but I could also see how that would be difficult to make look good, and so a costuming department going, all right, let's flip it to the inside and make it more identifying that way. I don't know, maybe it's like a reversible cloak. Am I reading way too much into this? But let me know what you think of switching a harp to a guitar in the comments down below. I can see why you'd make it the change to be made, but I'm not entirely convinced. And then the drop before this one was also a bit controversial, but I think less so, and that's going to be Rand's, or I should say, Tam's heron marked blade. So, all right, this is going to be a sword that a lot of people are going to buy and get replicas of, so it's kind of important what it looks like. And it looks a little simple. It looks a little like plain, but I like that. That fits Tam for me as a blade master. If he was picking out a blade to have, it'd be like, he wouldn't go for the gaudy one. He'd go for the one that's more practical oriented. It's very obviously katana inspired. I think a little bit more so than actually in the books. They've changed it to be almost entirely katana, from what I can tell. Although if I'm misled, I don't know swords that well. Ask someone who knows more about swords than me. To me, this is like my general conception of a katana. The biggest change here seems to be to the guard. The guard, for at least from everything I've seen in books and people recreating the sword from the books, is more of like a spiny, pokey, defendy thing, but they've made this rather just an embracing of the katana. I can see why some people might not like the change. In general, though, I like the vibe of the sword because I think it fits what Tam would have. I'm not sure why the guard would be changed, but I'm not like super duper attached to a guard. Sorry, that's not like where my focus is as a fan. And we've had a couple people saying that there's no heron on the actual handle, so how is the heron branding going to happen in the later books? But from what I can tell, the part of the handle that would brand his right hand is facing down, so I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know if that's actually true, if it should be on both sides, if it should be on one side, if we're just not seeing the side with the heron on the handle. I can't really say one way or the other, so I'm just going to go, I don't know. I like this one. It's not my favorite, it's not my least favorite. Favorite still goes to Moraine, because that was awesome. Moraine, I love you. And then we have some audio from what sounds like Madeline Madden and Marcus Rutherford getting ready for some adventure. I'll play it now. Here's a clip.
You ready?
No.
Me either.
They say, "Are you ready?" And Marcus, definitely in the character of Perrin, says no, with some intense music playing and a little Aes Sedai symbol spiraling. I'm not sure about this one. It's a little like it's not enough information for me to gleam off of. It seems like maybe some Winter Night things happening, maybe them trying to escape from White Cloaks. But I hear a woman screaming in the background. I'm not sure how a woman screaming in the background would fit in with what's going on in the White Cloaks. So this is maybe Winter Night. I'm gonna say Winter Night. Put my life savings in the line. I will pay everyone here the equal value of my life savings. If I'm wrong, hold me to that. Please don't. And then we had a look at Emins Field. Not a lot of like audio here, so just like boom, it's gonna be up behind me playing on repeat. And it's very peaceful. I immediately when I saw this was like, I wanna take a nap right there. Like that is where I wanna be when I nap. 1000%. It looks nice. It's definitely an Emins Field vibe. Thatchwork roofs. I'm down. I'm here for it. And I like that. Yet again, not much I could say here aside from like, that looks like Emins Field. I hope that's the Wine Spring Inn. Is it confirmed for us if that's the Wine Spring Inn or not? I'm not sure. It looks like it should be. So I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say 100% it's the Wine Spring Inn. Fight me. I mean, the page they show literally says like the Wine Spring Inn and describes it. Then you pan up to the building. So I think it's a pretty safe assumption. But I'd rather you think I'm genius and spotted and came up with it. So I'm... That's obviously the Wine Spring Inn. I'm a genius. I came up with that. But those are the drops we have gotten from WoTonPrime so far. I would say my favorite has to be the Moraine bit. obviously fantastic. It's Rosamund Pike, not Grammy. I keep saying Grammy winner, Golden Globe winning actress, and who knows how the Oscars will play out. Or have they already been announced? I don't keep up with award shows. I think award shows are kind of weird. But hey, she won a Golden Globe, so that's awesome. I kept saying Grammy. It's not a Grammy. Although, Rosamund Pike, if you want to drop a mixtape, I'd listen to that. And at least favorite, I don't dislike any of them, but the Tom one had the most changes where I was like, I get it, but I need to see it. So I guess that one would, no, I still like the guitar. The guitar had a good vibe. But I guess that would be my least favorite though, because there's changes going on and I'm like, that's my reaction there. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of these WoTonPrime drops so far. Do you love them? Do you want more? Do you want less? Do you feel like we're getting too much from the show? Let me know. I want to see this conversation. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe if you have not already. You can check out my book, Breach of Peace, on Audible currently, or pre-order the paperback and a bunch of other retailers as well. All those links down in the description. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.